And welcome everybody to episode 83 of the Paws Up podcast. A lot of the last few episodes we've done on this show, Kevin, my friend and co-host, they've been football oriented. We've had lights, we've had Coach Willie Simmons. So now let's get to some of the newcomers. I think was a good idea. So who better to bring on than Dallas Payne? How are you doing, Dallas?
I'm great. I am great. Getting acclimated to FIU in Miami.
So tight end coming from the UAB, the Blazers, making his way to FIU. Uh, Before we get into some FIU talk, Dallas, I wanted to ask you, growing up in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, when did you decide to start playing football competitively, and when were you like, okay, this is something I really want to pursue at the high school and collegiate level?
I started playing at 7 in the Little League. Around 7 years old in Mississippi, they had like a little league down there, and I was like, okay. I knew I was athletic, and then I was like, okay, I'm pretty good at this. And then I think it was about 8th grade. I was still very good, scoring multiple touchdowns a game, and at playing receiver and defense. Playing receiver, and I was playing defense then, and I was like, okay, I want to play college football at this level and pursue NFL dreams. So it probably came around 8th grade when I was about 13 years old, and I still had that consistent high level of production that I did at Little League.
Okay, so tight end specifically, why did you go with that? Obviously, you have wide receiver, the other spots on offense, but what made you go with tight end?
So coming at high school, I played receiver. JUCO played receiver. I didn't make a change to tight end until I signed with UAB.
Okay.
So I was high school. I graduated at like 180. I was like 6'4", 180.
Wow.
Big outside receiver. I ended up having an injury, so I was had a pretty good senior year. I had got an injury that kind of prompted me to go to JUCO, take the JUCO route, where I signed with Coach Coleman. And Coach Coleman, the new OC, that's who I signed with to Northeast. And I played receiver up under him for 2 years, but a lot of college coaches, I went from like 185 to like 210, 215.
Wow.
So a lot of college coaches was reaching out, and they were like, I like his receiver film, but can this guy put on 10 to 15 more pounds and become a tight end and like a receiving threat at tight end? And, I had a conversation with Coach Coleman, who brought it up to me first because it was schools like in-state, like Mississippi State and Ole Miss, who were like, okay, brought up the idea, like, can this guy play tight end? Like, he could be a really fast receiving tight end. And he brought it up to me, but he was like, it's different. And I was like, I'm interested. And then I told him that, and then a lot more schools started to pick up like, tight end. He fits the tight ends now and where he's moving to. So I kind of decided to make the transition, and in that transition, I signed with UAB.
So at your time in high school, correct me if I get this wrong, St. Stanislas High School?
St. Stanislaus.
Stanislaus, there you go. You led the state in catches and yards in your senior year specifically. It was a hell of a performance from you. Talk a bit about your time in high school, maybe some words of advice you got then from teammates, coaches, whatnot, that you still kind of carry with you to this day.
So I didn't go to that school at first. So in 8th grade, when I kind of decided like I'm really good, that's the high school I chose. So it was a high school, their rival actually, Bay High. I was supposed to go there. So then I transferred my 9th grade year to St. Stanislaus. I didn't play due to some eligibility with moving schools and being in the same area. So I missed my 9th grade year. But I came out strong my sophomore and junior year. I had good seasons, but I think it really helped me. It really turned me on my senior year because I ended up with like 86 catches, like you said, around 1,300 yards. I had like 1,500 all-purpose yards, like 18 touchdowns. And that's what really like pushed me to the next level and picked my recruitment up until I got injured first round of playoffs my senior year. I injured myself, had a kind of like really big injury, and that's when a lot of schools went away, and I had to go JUCO. But some coaches like in high school that helped me out a lot was Josh Jordan and Jeff Jordan. So those were two guys. Coach Josh Jordan, he played college football, receiver, tight end, quarterback guy at like East Carolina and McNeese State. And he kind of was like, you got the talent level to play at the next level. And then when I was like a freshman, I was on the team with like 6 Division I starters. Miles Brennan, quarterback after Joe Burrow at LSU. He was the quarterback my freshman year. Corbin Blanchard played at the next level. Darius Pittman, Chase Rogers ended up being the starting tight end for Ole Miss. So it was like the team was loaded. So like watching those guys get Division I offers, and then I'm competing with those guys in practice as a freshman. It's like, okay, I can do this. And they even words of like encouragement from them. Those guys was like, yo, you can go play at the next level. You got it. And it just transitioned, and kept getting better, bigger, faster, stronger. Playing other sports helped as well, and then just talking to many different people in my community outside of the school. They were like, you got the right head on your shoulder, so you can go a long way with this. So I kind of took heed to that and kept my head down, kept working, and ended up getting to the Division I level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love to hear that. Talk a little bit about your time at the JUCO level. Obviously, when people hear JUCO, maybe some of them, feel like, oh, not D1, but it's still really tough to play there. You were all conference. Talk about that experience, and what advice would you give anyone going through the JUCO ranks that, potentially wants to find themselves at the D1 level at some point?
Yeah, JUCO is in D1, but I definitely think you can get developed in JUCO like tremendously. Like I developed physically, mentally, like the game from high school even to JUCO is fast. Like it's different physically, and like of course it's not Division I speed and game wise, but I think me playing that level helped the transition be smoother to Division I because I played against guys like that went to Ole Miss and Mizzou and guys that I went against a cornerback that went 5th round every day to the Jaguars. So like playing, it's still you get good work, you get good competition. You playing against guys who are going to the next level. So it's still a bit of an adjustment, but it helps. Like when you transition it from JUCO to Division I, it definitely helps. Um, I think the only big difference is just location. You're not a lot around. You're not around a lot of things. You're not in Miami. You're in the middle of nowhere. So I think mentally it tests you because you're far away from family. You're not around a lot of stuff, so you can just go hang out with your friends. Y'all go bowling. And you don't have all that. It's literally school, ball, dorm. That's it in the middle of nowhere with a gas station. So I think that helps you make focus. You lock in on your craft a little bit more, and you devote a lot of time to football. And I think that helps a lot.
So talk a little bit about making it to the D1 level. What were the emotions like when you found out, all right, I'm going to Division I FBS level. I'm going to join UAB with Trent Dilfer, Nick Coleman, and that crew over there.
So I had, interest and offers out of high school until I got hurt. So like it was kind of sour relief because JUCO, you're taking a chance on yourself. It's a lot of guys who don't make it out of JUCO. No. So JUCO, you take a chance on yourself, and I was just like, I went to camp. Like UAB offered me at a camp, so I had went to camp going into my second year at UAB, and it was before Coach Dilfer and Coleman got there. It was under Bill Clark and Trent Dilfer. They were actually in CUSA at the time. So it was under Bill Clark and Trent Dilfer and Bill Clark and Brian Vincent, and the coach that offered me was Joe Craddock, who was the coordinator at Tulane. It was a sigh of relief. I had went to the camp by myself. I usually in high school, my mother, she brought me to camp. She drove me everywhere. Was on visits with me. I had her, my little brother. It was a support system. This time I went by myself. I drove from Boonville, Mississippi to Birmingham, 2:15 drive in JUCO by myself. The camp was at like 6, 7 o'clock at night. I got an offer after the camp, and like by the time the camp in, it's like 9 o'clock. I'm getting something to eat. I'm crying on the way home because I'm like, Mom, I got an offer. I'm gonna be straight. And of course, more schools followed, but getting that first offer, like it was kind of tears of joy because it was like, okay, I got my opportunity now. Like most guys don't get this opportunity. I got my one bird in the hand, so like definitely tears of joy, excitement, and I put my head down and work because like just as fast as you can get it, it can be gone. So like still work on your craft and put your head down.
So you mentioned COSA. I mean, now you're back in this conference. Obviously, you didn't play FIU that first time, but what do you remember about what the conference looked at the time? It looks a little bit different now, but still some teams like Middle Tennessee, Western that are still in the conference. So what were your thoughts back then, and how do you look at it now, which is, I think, 12 teams, a lot of new teams in there with Missouri State, Delaware, Jack State, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, so when I was in the conference, it was I'm trying to think.
That was like the FAU, UTSA days. Yeah,
it was FAU, UTSA. So UAB had a lot of good battles when I was coming up with UTSA. That was kind of like our in-conference rival. Conference USA had a lot of good teams. Like you said, UAB, UTSA, FAU had some teams there. The conference was loaded. I mean, it was great competition from what I remember. Of course, we moved up and I played in the American Conference for 2 years. But the lone year I was in Conference USA, it was good competition. Like we only won 7 games. So like we lost to Western Kentucky. They were at Western Kentucky. They were a good team. We lost to who else? We lost to another Conference USA team. I can't remember at the moment, but it was definitely some good competition in Conference USA, and I still believe there is.
So let us get into talking a bit about UAB itself. Spent a couple of years there. Talk about just your overall performance there. It was a short amount of time, but still put up some very solid statistics there. Just how would you rate yourself on how you did there?
I think I did good for the opportunities and chances I had, like really good. Of course, 2022 I redshirted. I had some tight ends in front of me. Also, I just transitioned to the position, so
yeah,
I think it was a good thing that I redshirted because I learned a lot of things. Like I didn't know anything about fronts and mics and IDs and considering the run game. So like I'm used to reading coverages, what releases I'm gonna do, what routes I got, and what leverage the defensive back is playing to. All right, this is a 4-eye in front of me or a 6-eye, like, or an edge. Like I didn't know those terms, so it was a foreign language to me. So I think it was good that I redshirted. Then once I redshirted, like 3 tight ends left. Graduation, transfer portal. So it opened up a lot of room for playing time, which goes into the new staff, which is Trent Dilfer. We got a new staff. Coach Dilfer came in, and I knew he was going to throw the ball. With UAB being in Conference USA and under Bill Clark and Brian Vincent, they like to run the ball. And I knew Coach Dilfer was going to throw the ball, and he expressed using the tight ends, and we had a good tight end room. The tight end room at UAB's always been good. So my time there was good. Under Coach Dilfer, like my first year there, I think I had like 20 catches for 200 yards both seasons, around that. And for what me, like I split time a little bit with the other 2 tight ends. They were a year older than me. Like they've spent their whole career at UAB. So with me splitting time and getting, not every rep or every target as a tight end, I think I did pretty well with my time being there.
There was one moment that I'm sure you'll probably never forget. Your first touchdown in FBS came against, of all teams, Arkansas at their joint in Fayetteville.
Yeah.
Talk about that experience, like the moment it was confirmed a touchdown, the reaction on the sideline, just the feeling you had of finally getting a really big achievement done and out of the way.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a close game, like the whole way. Like we were winning actually at one point, like 17-3. We ended up losing, of course, but it was like fourth quarter, 7 minutes left. We had came out of I want to say maybe a TV timeout. We had ran the play earlier with a different tight end. I typically, we rotated so many tight ends. You had to pay attention because you might get that play call again if you're in the game and you need to know what the defense did. And prior to they called that play in the red zone going the opposite way in like the first half, and they went like Tampa 2, cover 2, and the other tight end they missed him. So like in the huddle, I'm in the game. They're like, look, we're gonna go back to this play. I was like second option on the play. So typically they rotate to cover 1, but they started in a 2-high shell. And I just was looking. They snapped the ball, and I saw him rotate over number 8, if I'm not mistaken. And I was like, okay, I got to break this across flat, like it's cover 1, because they didn't rotate the safeties. And typically, like, I'm a good run after the catch tight end. Like, I usually don't get tackled by the first person or the second person. Yeah. So I broke it across, and Jacob Zeno, he stepped up in the pocket, came through it to me, and I saw him. Like, we kind of like locked eyes. Like, I'm like, okay, he finna throw this ball because I broke it across. Like, we were on the same page. So I'm like, okay, he finna throw this, and he threw it. And going through my mind, I just was like, okay, I got to secure this catch because at the end of the day, I need the first down. And it's going to put us in good field position. But when I caught it, he had his hand in there, and I secured it. And I'm like, oh, he can't tackle me. His hands aren't right. So I was like, and then when he like tried to rip it, I spun out, and I'm like, oh, I'm on like the 6 or 7. Like, I'm close. So I'm like, I'm about not to go down. I'm right here. So I like rode in the touchdown, and it just was a incredible feeling. Like, of course, I scored touchdowns plenty before in high school and JUCO, but it's definitely a different feeling scoring a touchdown on the FBS level, especially against that caliber team. And it was just a good feeling. Like, and it was a critical touchdown. Like, put us within 3 with like 6 minutes left in the game. And, just the excitement. My mom was excited. My family was excited after the game, all the text messages and calls. But it was a really good feeling to get a touchdown. Your first one.
Yeah, definitely always a special one. But, all right, so Willie Simmons gets hired. You go into the portal. Nick Coleman comes to FIU. Your OC. What was your reaction when you saw the news? I think you may have already been committed. If not, you committed right after. But what was your reaction, I guess, the timeline of that and how it came to be that now you're an FIU Panther?
So I knew of Coach Simmons, but I really didn't get on his rate. I really didn't get like in contact and build a good relationship until kind of Coach Coleman. Like, I think I was in the portal before Coach Simmons got hired, and I was talking to these different schools, and Coach Simmons got hired on like the 7th or 8th. I saw that, but I didn't put too much into it because I hadn't talked to FIU. He didn't talk to me. And then about a couple days later, Coach Coleman's like, yeah, I'm getting a job at FIU. Like, pretty much. He's like, I know you're in the portal. I'm sure you've probably been talking to these different schools and all that, but like, would you be interested in taking a visit, to FIU? I'm going to be the offensive coordinator there. And of course, like, we've already had a good relationship. He recruited me out of JUCO. He gave me a chance because, like I said, I had a big injury. I had Tommy John. And he gave me a chance. He was like, out of JUCO. So I was like, okay, I trust this guy. And then we had a good relationship at UAB. And he just was like, take a visit, see how you like it. I want you to talk to Coach Simmons, build a relationship with Coach Simmons. And when I came up here, it just felt like home. Like, I felt good about it. I've had a good relationship. Like, ever since, me and Coach Simmons has been cool, locked in. Like, he's a good dude, good guy. And, like, I saw the vision. And he hasn't lost anywhere. Like, it's proven. He has a winning track record. Like, you can't deny facts. And that's one thing that I like. And him being an offensive-minded guy, Coach Coleman, I know he's run. I know what type of plays he's going to call. I've been in his system before. Mm-hmm. He's going to probably bring some things he's run at JUCO. So I knew what to expect. So it kind of just was an easier transition and decision in the end.
That's awesome. That's awesome. How that all kind of lined up as well as it did. Now we had mentioned before recording, spent some time in Tampa, which is cool, but Miami is a whole different beast compared to any of the other places you have
Yeah.
been to. Talk a bit about the culture shock you may have experienced moving to Miami, whether it's the language barrier, the food, the culture, like I mentioned, weather. What stuck out to you the most when finally getting down here to Miami?
Definitely like the diversity in people. Like Birmingham and where I'm from, we don't have a lot of different cultures and language barriers. So coming here, especially in the area FIU is, it's a lot of different. You need to learn. I gotta learn my Spanish. I see. Like, with
Yeah,
I'm down for just that. Just the big city. Like I'm coming from a small city. Bay St. Louis is nowhere near this. It's
right,
so. And JUCO, Boonville was smaller than my city. Birmingham was decent size, but of course it's not Miami. Like
right.
so, just getting used to just the big city life and traffic and buying a sun pass, like so we don't gotta get no tolls. Paying for tolls and stuff, but just that's really about it. Just a different culture shock and learning just in the weather. I know it'll be hotter, so I got to get used to that. Hydrate definitely way more and better than what I have been before. So
Talk a little bit about the facilities, like just what were your initial reactions when you got here on the official visit, just seeing, the campus, and how did it kind of compare to UAB?
so the campus is like a college campus. Like UAB is in the city, it's in downtown. It's like it's a campus, but you can drive through the campus and won't even know you just went through it because it's in downtown Birmingham. It's in buildings. It's by hospitals. Which is cool, but FIU is a campus. Like when you're on campus, you have to pull in on campus. Like it's a college atmosphere. It's definitely different. The stadium, like UAB stadium, is protected stadium. It's bigger than Pitbull Stadium, but I think Pitbull Stadium is nice. I think it's a good venue. I like how it's set up and all that. Sometimes having a big stadium, even with a decent crowd and people spread out, it don't feel full.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I think protective stadium, like we sometimes we caught a lot of that, and it was still good crowds, but having a stadium that fit that many people, like it's still hard to pack out. Where you have a smaller stadium like Pitbull, even though you have a good crowd, it still, even if you have a smaller crowd, it still feel like a good crowd at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So the facilities are nice though. Good locker room. I like the locker room. Like I said, the stadium is nice and it's fine to me. I like everything about it, honestly.
I'd love to hear that. What are your thoughts on Pitbull and the naming rights?
You said what? I can't hear you.
Pitbull. What are your thoughts on Pitbull getting the
Oh,
naming rights?
I knew of. I knew, like, I didn't know it was named that. I saw he bought it. Like, was it this year? Earlier this season? Yeah, I saw that like online somewhere, but I didn't really put too much thought into it until like I was coming on a visit. I'm like, oh yeah, he did buy the stadium, or like the naming right to the stadium. But it's cool. Like I think they said he might possibly be doing stuff before the games. I don't know, but it's cool. I don't really listen to his music, but it's cool.
You're going to listen to it a lot during the pregame when the Boston is out there. Yeah. So talk a little bit about Frank Ponce, your new tight ends coach. Obviously, a lot of experience prior to getting here to FIU. Worked with T.Y. Hilton at FIU. His first stint here, Miami, was at App State. What are your thoughts on Coach Ponce? Have you been able to talk to him, and how excited are you to work with him?
Yeah, we've talked a good bit. He's a big. I'm sure I'm going to learn a lot of different like X's and O's with him. He's an offensive minded guy too. OC, call plays, been passing game coordinator. I'm pretty sure. So learning a lot of X's and O's with him probably will benefit. He seems like a chill, cool guy. We're still getting to know each other, still building that relationship and that connection. But so far he's been cool, easygoing, easy to talk to. Been a good guy all around.
Alrighty then, Kevin. Dallas, you've been awesome so far. But Kevin, is it time for a quick look around FIU athletics?
Let's check it out.
Alrighty, let's take a look around the 305. Who to watch for as we're coming up here. So start with basketball, starting off with men's. Saturday, February 8th is their next game as they take on Louisiana Tech at the Ocean Make Convocation Center at 2 o'clock. That's on ESPN+. They're then going to head out to a 3-game road trip going out west to UTEP and New Mexico State as they start to get towards the latter end of the conference stretch before you get into the CUSA tournament. So Louisiana Tech at the Bank, Saturday, February 8th at 2 o'clock. And likewise, women's basketball is going to be on the road taking on Louisiana Tech on Saturday, February 8th at 2 o'clock before coming back home for a 3-game homestand, starting off against UTEP on Thursday, February the 13th at 11 before taking on New Mexico State on the 15th and then Liberty on the 22nd. Next up is FIU swimming and diving. Their upcoming meet is going to be against the University of Miami in Coral Gables. It's the first chance meet on Friday, February the 14th. Time is to be decided. But after that, it gets serious for that swim and dive squad as they look to defend their title in the American at the conference championships beginning on Wednesday, February 19th, and then going to the 22nd on Saturday. Next up is baseball, which is beginning their season not that far away now. Friday, February the 14th. It's Valentine's Day. Take your loved ones out to a game at the ballpark against Stonehill on Friday, February the 14th at 6:30 p.m. And then that whole rest of the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, they're going to continue taking on the Skyhawks of Stonehill. All of those games can also be seen on ESPN+. And then lastly, of course, is FIU softball, who is also beginning their season at the Felsberg Invitational against Indiana on Thursday, February the 6th at 5:30. They'll then take on Iowa State the day after, and then Stony Brook on Saturday, February the 8th. And again, all those games are at Felsberg Field, and they can all be seen on ESPN+. So that was a brief look around FIU athletics. Dallas, let's get right back into the thick of things here. Practices are coming up soon. I think in March. What day is it in March for the first practices, Kevin?
March 4th.
4th. Okay. So what has been your excitement level personally? You've moved in, you've set up shop here, but now you can finally get back on the field as we finally get set to go for the official college football offseason.
Y'all just told me something. I didn't know we were starting that early, but
Yes,
Saturday,
a week before. Early spring break here.
Yeah, we do have early spring break. But I'm just excited to learn the offense, develop, get some chemistry going with O-line, quarterbacks, It's going to be a lot of moving pieces. Everybody starting from square one, offense mainly because, new OC, new offense. So that's what I'm most excited about. Just learning the offense, seeing who's going to be the playmakers, who's going to be stepping up, seeing the development of younger guys or guys who didn't probably get a chance the year before. That probably will come on strong. So I think that's what probably be the most exciting part about that. I think would be learning the offense, seeing the development, and just building a brotherhood or a strong team so we can go into the season, ready.
So looking at yourself now, how are you looking to adjust how you play the game or how you elevate your game as you look to obviously impress teammates, impress the coaches, looking to get some starting time come week 1 against, I believe, Penn State. But just when week 1 arrives, how do you look to elevate your game as you get ready for that?
Just being a bigger passing threat, and I think I was a good passing threat in decent run blocker, at UAB. I got the job. I got the job done. I did what I was supposed to, but just being consistent every play and now, you know what you're going to get with me when y'all watch the games, or my teammates know what they're going to get with me when I'm in the game. Being a playmaker, knowing I'm reliable in the run game, in the pass game, whatever they need me to do, just being reliable and knowing okay, Dallas going to get the job done. I think that's probably the biggest thing come week 1, and I think the rest will follow. Being that type of person, putting in that work, the plays will happen, the catches will happen, just for me or for other teammates that I set up by blocking or whatever, all that will happen, just putting in that work to prepare for them type of things.
Talk a little bit about Kiwan. I don't know if you've had any chances to talk to him or even just work out with him in terms of catching passes or whatever, but just What's that chemistry been like? What stands out to you about Keywan, maybe from watching film last season, and how excited are you to have him as your QB this season?
Yeah, so I haven't really watched much film of the team last year. We actually, me and him cool. Like he's like 2-3 lockers down from me. He's
Nice.
really cool. We threw routes outside, like me and him and like 3 receivers and 2 other quarterbacks. We threw routes not too long ago outside for like an hour, got some work in. I think he's a baller. I think he's a playmaker. I definitely can see like he's gonna get the job done. Like whether it's with his legs or make a play, scramble, like I could see it. He got a little juice to himself, confidence. So I think that goes a long way, and that's probably the biggest traits I've picked up about him that I like.
Who are some of the guys? I know there's not many returners on the offensive side, especially in the tight end room. I mean, almost all of them are gone, I think, except maybe Braden Stanton. Just who are some guys that maybe taken you under their wing and kind of taught you a little bit of the ropes around campus?
So I don't know. Like I would say more of the new incoming guys. I think we're all kind of like learning it together.
Okay.
Like guys like me and Noah, Sue, D lineman from Marshall.
Yeah.
We D Hill, Demetrius Hill. Like he's been here, so he kind of show you around a little bit. He knows a little bit about it, but just the newcomers learning because right now we're all like a lot of people on different schedules because different workout groups times and classes and stuff like that. So just I think the newcomers, and that's probably our schedules align the best. Learning the ropes, probably just me and Noah going walking around campus, seeing stuff, checking it out. But I'd say just the newcomers, people that's transferred in, probably moving around together in groups, figuring stuff out.
Nice.
So the schedule, I understand the schedule is not completely finalized. We still know the exact opponents that we're going to be taking on in CUSA, also the FCS team, but we do know some matchups on the schedule, and I want to know your excitement level for them. Having to go to Happy Valley, obviously Penn State did a lot of damage in the college football playoff, and then you get to experience the Shula Bowl. I know FAU is a team that you probably did play against when you were part of UAB. Now you get to go up against them again, this time in a big rivalry to us. Just talk about some of the matchups you're really excited to see.
I'm definitely excited to go play at Penn State. I like big games. So I played, being at UAB, I played again. 2022 LSU against Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors, and all them boys. 2023, played Georgia at Georgia. They were number 1 night game. They had Brock Bowers and all them. So, I played in big games. 2024, this past season was Arkansas. They were a good team. So all the games I played in against those caliber teams have been packed out, sold out games, crowds, it's loud. So I like games like that. Shine in the big moment, play against the best, put good tape on against the best guys because those guys, you're gonna play. They're playing on Sunday. Most of those guys, they're either playing or getting a chance to play on Sunday.
Yep.
So you need to put your name in the mix, and by doing that, you need to make plays against those guys because when NFL scouts come cut on your film, they're gonna cut on that the biggest team you played that year. They're gonna cut that tape on to see how you did against them. FAU for sure. I when I got here, I saw how big of a rivalry that is. I played against FAU in 2022 in Conference USA. They beat us at FAU when I was at UAB, and then they came to us in 2023 and we beat them. Definitely excited to play them. I'm sure it's going to be a big crowd with it only being about an hour away. Yeah, so excited to play them. UConn, I think, will be a good team. I played against them last year too at UAB. They came to us. Yeah, they were a really good team. We were actually beating them by 10 plus points for sure. And they ended up coming back at the end, and we had some crucial turnovers. But going to them, I've never been that far up north, but I'm excited to see it. And I hope it ain't freezing cold, but excited to go up there and play against UConn because I know they're gonna have a good team. They're gonna be ready.
Yep.
So, Ari Dallas, again, thanks so much for spending some time with us today, man. As we start to close up shop, let's get into some fun rapid fire questions to brighten the mood, man. The funniest coach and player that you've met at FIU so far, who would you say that is?
Funniest coach and player. I'm trying to think. Funniest coach and player. So the funniest coach, I would say, he was at UAB with me, Coach Gilstrap.
Oh, okay.
I think he's cool, but he's kind of funny. I think I would say him. I'm still getting to know some of the other coaches, but I'm gonna go with him because he was funny to me at UAB. Funny player. That's tough. Funny player. I'm trying to think. This is a good question. I don't know. They're all kind of funny in their own way. I'm still getting to know a lot of these guys.
True.
I'm in my locker buddies, Clayton.
Clayton Dees.
Yeah, he's kind of funny. He's cool, kind of funny guy. So I like Clayton. Him and Chase, I'm in between them, so they're cool. So I'll probably say Clayton as of right now.
What's the playlist looking like?
Pre-game playlist. So I got a little bit of YB, Young Boy. Ride Wave, G Herbo. I'd say my top 5 is Little Young Boy, Ride Wave, G Herbo. Hot Boy, he's a Florida guy from North Florida. And probably have to end the list off with probably Lil Durk.
Lil Durk, okay. What are the odds that Pitbull gets added to that playlist?
They're slim. He might have a song that I might like. Might have to bump it like the day before the game, but like not pre-game.
There you go.
I probably will listen to people. I listen to a lot of different genres.
Okay. So, obviously still getting used to just being around here. You mentioned it's a big city, but where are some of the dining locations, both on campus and off campus, that you've been kind of sticking to so far in your time here in the 305?
So green chicken. People were like, green chicken.
Popular spot.
Yeah, so I had to try green chicken, and I'm definitely a fan of green chicken. Green chicken. I tried this place called. I just was looking up some places around here to eat, and I went to I think it's Tigo's. You know what I'm talking about? It's it's in the back, like behind campus.
Yep.
Off campus. That was pretty good. And I'm trying to think of some stuff that's not basic.
What about on campus?
On campus, I ate at the Chili's. I like Chili's, so I probably just go with Chili's on campus.
You're the second person that's told us Chili's.
In the Cinnabon. I didn't know we had a Cinnabon the other day.
Yeah, we do.
Dude, the Chili's answer, you just have a similarity with the key one. He also said Chili's.
That's Chili's, man. I'm telling you, Chili's is good.
Yeah.
What's the order?
I get the little bacon ranch quesadillas, and if I'm hungry with some loaded fries.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Alrighty. FIU prides themselves on their jerseys. I mean, you've seen the Vice, you've seen the Biscayne Blues. I'm sure you wore them at your official visit. Which one at the moment is your favorite?
I have to go Biscayne Blue. I like the
Everyone loves those, man.
I like the Biscayne Blue. Like, I know, like, people probably I think probably more people say Miami Vice because of the colors.
Mm-hmm.
But the Biscayne Blue, like, I like the baby blue. Like, the white is smooth. I like it.
So, name a football player all time, either past or present, that you would love to catch a pass from.
Or Steve McNair.
Wow, that's one hell of a pull. I ain't gonna lie. Also, on the topic of NFL, by the way, by the time this episode drops, the Super Bowl is going to be around the corner. We don't know who's in it yet, but between the 4 teams still alive, who do you got winning it all?
I gotta go Pat Mahomes. I gotta go 3-peat. I think him and Travis Kelce gonna get it done again one more time.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you for thinking that.
I gotta go with him, man. I wanted it to be Lamar, but he didn't come through, so I gotta go with Pat Mahomes.
All right, last rapid fire. We ask this to every athlete we get on, every coach. Who should be the next FIU football player that we bring on the podcast?
Either. Let me give y'all 2 options. I'm gonna say as of right now, Noah Grant.
Nice.
Go specialist love. Or put Big Sue on there. D lineman. I think he's interesting. I get some good conversation out of Sue.
All right.
We got to get more players on defense on the show. So I agree.
Yeah, Sue, D lineman.
All righty, Dallas, again, thank you so much for spending some time with us today, man. As we always do, as we start to close out the show, if you have anything you would like to say to the fans, to FIU, to anybody in particular, the floor is now yours.
Just come support us, man. Spring game, and when the season comes, we need all the support we need, man. I got a good feeling about it. So I think we got the guys that's going to turn it around. It's going to be a different outcome than last year.
Facts. Exactly what he said. We'll be there. We advise all of you watching to be there as well for the spring practices and then the spring game in April. So, again, Dallas, thank you so much for being on, man.
No doubt. Good.
All right, for Dallas, Kevin, and myself, have a great rest of the night. Hopefully the Super Bowl is going to be a banger, and then go watch some football. And until next time, Paws Up!